Hello, hello, and welcome to Magical Monday. And today we are drawing our first magical boy. As always, the prompt will be on screen as well as in the description. And today, our character is good and their power is rain. And I now have the pleasure to introduce you to Rory Euri. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the last name correct. It's spelled Euri, and it means rain. Now, Euri, or my bad, I shouldn't say the last name, I meant Rory, is a very interesting character for me, and actually, my favorite that we've done so far for Magical Monday might be one of my all-time favorite characters that I've made, because as I was drawing him, although I couldn't think of a design for his Magical Boy outfit, I already, as I was drawing it and trying to figure it out, was thinking of a whole personality and maybe like a bit of background for how he ended up working for the good guys, and a little bit about his own personal thoughts and philosophy on the whole thing about fighting between good and evil, and the difference between working on both sides, which, spoiler, because something I think he wouldn't care about telling people. So I'm going to be very open with you and tell you, he used to work for the bad guys. But at some point, he decided he didn't want to work for them anymore. He realized, although either way, regardless of which side he's on, someone's going to get hurt. He'd rather be on the better side, or what's seen as the publicly majority seen as better side. So Rory, in a way, is very much, I guess, kind of like I wouldn't say jester, but he could be seen as that way, where you don't really know what he wants or what he plans on doing, because he could go either way, depending on which side is most beneficial for him. And so that led to the thought of where he has his outfit is sort of like a mix between both sides. And now, unfortunately, we haven't drawn too many good guys yet, but going off of Veronica, and then also, I guess, I use Maeve as like another side. I found a way to make a design that was kind of in between both, but still being different. I want Rory to look like kind of a mysterious character. Mysterious, but also someone that you can easily approach and talk to. Someone who's stylish, looks like well, I guess not know a lot, but look as if they're constantly traveling. But that was just the basis of design, and kind of personality-wise in terms of what his thoughts are. And then that also added into what I ended up making his costume. But the most important thing that came from the start of this, that gave me a good basis for doing this, was the fact that his power was rain. So my first thought was, in Japan they make these little rain men, which are like, they look like little ghosts that they tie up and hang when storms are coming and stuff. It's like to make the rain go away. It's really cute. Well, they look cute, but I mean, they can sometimes look creepy, but for the most part, they look cute. And so my initial design was based off of the Rain Man, and I tried to keep with it and do something similar, but I was having a lot of problems. Actually, while drawing this recording, didn't take me as long. Planning and trying to figure out a good design for this did take me a lot longer. I was actually surprised at how quickly I was able to draw it, because this has turned out to be the shortest amount of time I spent drawing. But I guess technically Rory had a bit of an advantage, because I actually drew Rory before this episode was done, because I looked at the prompt I got and I thought it was really nice, and I just wanted to draw him as his civilian self, which doesn't look too different from his in-costume self, aside from the fact that, he's just not wearing as much, I guess. But either way, he still looks really stylish, so that's nice. Gave him a big old hat, because I like big hats, and I haven't drawn any of these recent characters with big hats. Someone has to have it. It's going to be Rory, because it makes him look cool. But in terms of the design of the hat, I'm not entirely sure. I know it's from East Asian culture, whatever, for design the hat, the shape of it and such. But when I drew it, I was thinking of the water spirit that Katara dressed up as from Avatar. Because I thought about it, I was like, oh hey, that'd be cool. Maybe have a very long, flowy design, but also at the same time I was like, I can't keep doing long, flowy designs because I already have characters like that. So I wanted to do something different. And I was like, okay, but what am I gonna put on his bottom? Because of course I'm worried about him potentially looking like a girl. But I realized Rory wouldn't care. He would actually like wearing something that isn't. He doesn't want a lot of layers because it's impractical. And I guess that's where Rory also kind of stands as kind of a basis of what clothing is like. Because, in other Magic Girl shows, they're wearing all this pretty frilly, ruffly stuff. But if we're thinking about this in a more realistic sense, which is where my world for this is more grounded, it wouldn't really work for them to wear this type of clothes all the time. Maybe certain characters that don't have to move around as much get like nicer clothes like that, but for a lot of these characters they have to run around a lot, and I imagine Rory being a very active person. So I decided to put as little as I possibly should, while also of course not drawing him completely naked, because he would never do that. Confident as he is, he wouldn't do that. Initially, I considered giving him an open back as reference back to when he was a bad guy, but I decided not to because it didn't look right. And then I also was going to give him like flat shoes, but I'm like, oh, this doesn't seem fair. Everyone else has heels. So I gave him heeled boots. And going back to the hat, I want to basically kind of cover his upper half, so to like obscure his face, because I kind of decided that the bad guys kind of hide themselves a bit more, and maybe while he's decided to change his clothes and he shows more of himself, he still has that kind of uneasiness of completely revealing himself. But that's kind of all I had to say on the design. Right, the color, which I believe we're at this point since the footage for this is not long at all. This video is going to be maybe 10 minutes at the most, but our color is violet, and that's kind of the reason why I really ended up liking Rory's design, because I am not a big fan of purple of any kind, purple, violet, whichever way you say it. I'm not a big fan of it. It's a difficult color for me personally to work with, and so I want to be able to practice with it, but I want to be able to enjoy it. Purple is one of those colors where it works good for shading and also replacing black, so your art doesn't look flat. But there are those rare situations, for at least in terms for me, where purple looks good as like a main color on a design, and Rory was great for that. It gave me the very like smooth, chill vibes that Rory has. And there are people who keep asking me to make characters that are purple. No one in the comment section, just like people in my personal life, because there's someone who really likes purple. But I'm not a big fan of it. Actually, my favorite color is the opposite of purple. So maybe that's why I sometimes have difficulty using it. But I use basically only purples, and then I throw in a green for the eyes, because good contrast. And in terms of connecting this back to the bad guys, Rory's hair is colored, and before, when he was on the bad guys, it most likely would have been a white fade instead of the purplish pink that it is now. So that's pretty neat to think about, that maybe if he feels like it, you can switch. Also, here's your friendly reminder that I have a Redbubble shop. the link is in the description. And if you want to see art anywhere else, I have a Twitter and Instagram as well. Okay, that's all. Bye bye.